This is Blackstone Joe, and you're listening to Slick Talk.
If I say I'm an oil man, you will agree.
There's the stink of oil about you.
Hello and welcome into Slick Talk. I am your host, Blackstone Joe, and I'm glad you're here. Recently, I was taking a look at a sample from a 2019 Subaru Forester. This one, of course, having the FB25 engine under the hood. It was the second sample, and it was taken at 39,640 miles on the odometer. Wear metals looked pretty good in this sample, meaning that internal parts seemed to be in good shape, working well together. We didn't see evidence of a serious mechanical issue. However, in this second sample, there was one thing that stood out. It was an increase in silicon. And if you're not familiar, in oil analysis, a high silicon level can show an air filtration issue because that is an element that would speak to dirt or debris getting past the air filter, unless we have recent use of a sealer or lube or something like a silicone tube or funnel used during the sampling process. If it's an engine that has matured past the wear-in stage and there is no mention of recent work or modifications, as there wasn't in this case, that did raise the possibility of dirt getting past the air filter. And while metals looked pretty good, there was an increase in the iron level that was due in part to an oil run longer than the previous one. But if you look a little bit closer at how much metal the engine is making on a per mile basis, there was some room for improvement there. And when we dig into those details, that is what can clue us into a potential issue. In this case, a potential problem with air filtration, because like I said, there wasn't a likely reason for silicon going up, at least a harmless reason, because with no recent work, no mention of something unusual during the sampling process that would cause silicon to jump, no mention of there being a funnel used during the sampling process or a silicone-based tube drop down the dipstick, let's say. There was nothing that would clue us in to a harmless reason for that element increasing, and metals really gave us just enough reason to speculate about an air filtration issue. And I'm glad we did, because the owner reached out, letting us know in an email that they did find a leak at the intake hose, just past the air filter. They went on to say that the band clamp was loose to the point it was very easy to turn, and after removing the hose from the filter housing, they found a small trail of dirt entering into the intake. All other connections seemed tight. So we have a few takeaways I want to discuss from this particular example of what I would call an oil analysis success story, one that really helps illustrate the value of taking a look at the engine oil that you're running. I think a lot of people assume that oil analysis is just for verifying known problems. That couldn't have been less true in this case, in the sense that the customer had no reason to assume anything was wrong, and they weren't checking because they had interest in doing anything different, which is another common misconception. When I look up some oil analysis videos on YouTube or read articles about oil analysis online, a lot of people will assume that oil analysis is mainly in the interest of extending your interval or asking the engine or the oil to do something exceptionally different, whether that be defying the manufacturer recommendations or how long the oil companies say you should run the oil. And it's true that we can help people safely extend their intervals, and it's true that a lot of people will use oil analysis to track health after modifying the engine or wanting to push things to the limit. That is certainly a reason to send in a sample to see how things are going. But there's just as much value in simply checking in to see what condition your condition is in. There's a lot of value in knowing what's going on under the hood just while you're in the business of going about your day-to-day tasks, whether it is a grocery getter or one that is doing Something a little more interesting in between the oil change intervals. Knowing what is going on when you don't suspect an issue is just as valuable as when you do. And in this particular instance, the customer was able to be clued into a potential problem, one that they could verify on their end. And that's where the owner and Blackstone can really work together as a team. We will tell you what the signs are, and you can go about verifying them on your end. Because the truth is, there is more than one explanation for most of the elements we test for, and we want to acknowledge the possibilities instead of disregarding what could be going on, letting you know what the playing field is. And simply checking over the air filtration setup, as this owner did, allowed them to verify what the likely issue was and prevent things from getting worse. I think it's another common misconception that oil analysis is just for verifying when there is a serious problem. In this case, the owner avoided a serious problem by knowing what was happening, correcting an issue, all the while avoiding the excess wear that can come as a result. This is a situation where we found some room for improvement in the wear profile, but nothing had reached a catastrophic state. And better yet, if you've listened to previous episodes on this show, you know that we can find things improving when contaminants are no longer reaching the engine oil. So in this case, while there is some room for improvement in the wear profile, I don't have reason to doubt that can show up in the next oil change and the oil changes to come, because engines can temporarily wear a little bit more than they should. And things will course correct. That's certainly a possibility in this case. And even if metals were to stabilize from here, that wouldn't really be a bad outcome either. So we're able to alert the owner to a potential problem. We may see things improve. And even if they don't, this is still an engine that is wearing relatively well for its type. We were just able to get ahead of a potential problem before it really wreaked havoc. And that's really where oil analysis can be most valuable, in my opinion. Verifying known problems is certainly important, especially when you're in, say, an insurance case, or if you need to have the rock solid evidence before you, say, take an engine to a dealer, if you're in a warranty situation. Of course, there are situations where you simply need the facts to back up what you suspect. And oil analysis is your ticket for that situation. But I think what's even better is preventing that issue from getting to the point where you have to proceed with expensive repairs, where you need, a full-on rebuild. This is a situation where the customer is so far away from a cautionary report that we're able to simply assist and keep things on the right track. And that's what would, in the end, help this engine stay on the road for the long term. Because the truth is, you are going to run into some situations where there might be an air filtration issue, or you have an injector that is leaking, or you have just traces of antifreeze. Correcting them in the very early stages helps that engine stay on the road. We all know that maintenance is a bit of a process, whether that is taking a sample from the engine or just doing the oil change, period. But taking those steps and making the minor corrections is what will help save you from the major maintenance measures that we all want to avoid. So if you haven't checked the air filtration setup on your engine recently, or better yet, if you have yet to begin the oil analysis journey for your vehicle, maybe this episode will serve as good motivation to do so. Find those problems early, and it will help save you down the road. This is Blackstone Joe, signing off.
The Slick Talk podcast is powered by Blackstone Laboratories. If you're ready to start your oil analysis journey, visit blackstone-labs.com to order your free test kit.